All right. The Yankees have expanded the roster to 28. And did you know this about David Robertson and the Yankees? What's going on, everybody? Happy Labor Day. Hope you're all doing well. I wasn't going to go live, but I said, you know what the heck? I have a little bit of time right now before I start prepping for the family for barbecue later. So I wanted to come on and check in with you guys and see how you're doing. Also wanted to get you the news. The Yankees have expanded the roster. They added 2 guys, right? JC Escar is coming up, and Ryan Yarbrough is coming up, okay? And Austin Slater's probably not ready yet, but this makes sense too. JC Escar coming up, add some catching depth, makes it easier to kind of move Ben Rice between catcher and first base, makes it easier to use him at first base a little bit more, right? Giving Austin Wells a little bit more protection with JC Escar. So instead of make it easier to sit Paul Goldschmidt, even bring him in later on for defensive reasons or whatever, it gives him a little bit more versatility. And Ryan Yarbrough obviously adds a long relief component here to the Yankees. So shout out to everybody in the chat, franchise, Jack, Chicken Pond, Tony, Troy, what's going on? Jennifer, hello, how are you? So happy Labor Day to all of you. So the Yankees have expanded. Again, they added JC Escara, he's coming up, and Ryan Yarbrough is back. So don't be surprised if you see him tomorrow in the game against the Houston Astros. Right now, it's projected to be Max Fried versus Framber Valdez. Lefty versus lefty. Consigliere, there he is. Siciliano, what's going on, everybody? So, and I have an article I want to share with you too. Okay, for those yes, and for those that haven't heard, it just came on. Ryan Yarbrough is coming up, and JC Escar is coming up. No Spencer Jones yet, no Austin Slater yet. And Spencer Jones, as much as I want to see him, Ken, what do you know, man? As much as I want to see Spencer Jones, he would create a logjam in the outfield. JC Escar kind of gives him a little more flexibility at first base and catcher. I think that's why he's coming up as well. And he's also an elite pitch framer. And we're going to need as much tightening up of the defensive positions as often as possible right now, heading into this final stretch of the season. We have 12 games left against teams, 12 games up against teams that records over 500. And I know a lot of fans are already throwing in the white towel. A lot of content creators are throwing in the white towel and so on. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'm not doing that. Ride or die with the team. Okay? Yankees are doing what they need to do right now. They get themselves ready for the final stretch. And if they hang tight, they win more games than they lose in the stretch, then they're going to be well positioned. Well positioned. So, and as of right now, thank you, Ken, for sharing this too. If the playoffs were the season would end today, the playoff bracket, they would be facing Boston in the first round. Boston Red Sox. I'll give you the quick bracket. And again, I got to thank Ken for this. Okay. From The Ugly Truth. If you're not subscribed to The Ugly Truth, please make sure you do that. So Yankees would face Boston right now. The Mariners would face the Houston Astros, with the Blue Jays and the Tigers getting byes. So the Blue Jays would face the winner of the Mariners-Astros. The Tigers would face the winner of the Yankees-Red Sox in the divisional round. This is wild card standing here. Now, on the other side, the Mets would play the Dodgers, with the Phillies getting a bye and playing the winner of that series. And the Padres would play the Cubs, with the Brewers getting a bye and playing the winner of that series. And that's how the divisional series would line up right now if the series were to end today. But I have a feeling it'll be something like this, but I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit different, but not that much. So they won 3 out of 4, Joseph. 3 out of 4. Nobody cares they lost yesterday. Okay, really. They won 3 out of 4. They're 13-3 in their last 16 games, and they've also picked up 4 games in the standings in the last week. So that, to me, is more tolerable than them losing a game. And nobody talks about the Dodgers getting swept by the Angels or getting swept by the Athletics, but they have the Dodgers. So, right? So, but it is what it is, right? They do have a tough stretch coming up, and this is the time now we're going to see what type of Yankees team you really have, right? So we'll see. Starting tomorrow, we got 3 against the Houston Astros in Houston. Then would I sign up for 4-2 these next 6? I would. Yes, I would. And then I would sign up for 4-2 the next. So it's 3 in Houston, and then they come back home and face the Blue Jays for 3, the Tigers for 3, and then they go to Fenway and face the Boston Red Sox for 3. So that's the next 12 games. So we don't know that, Duran. But you're welcome to. You're entitled to your opinion, right? We don't. It looks like Jones. Well, it looks like Jones is going to be behind Austin Slater. My guess is Austin Slater will probably at some point, get a call up. That's my guess. But if Spencer Jones doesn't come up, then I will continue to develop him and let him develop in AAA and let him, earn a starting job in spring training next year. Because I think either Bellinger or Grisham will be back. Only one of them, if two, are going to come back. I think it's probably going to be Bellinger, in my opinion. But we'll see. And then they're not going to call up Spencer Jones to not play either. If you call up Spencer Jones, Dominguez is not playing at all. And do people want that? I don't know about that. They complain enough that he doesn't get enough playing time now, even though Trent Grisham is outperforming him by 10 miles. So that's the tit for tat here, right? You got to give and take. So we can't be happy with everything. So J.C. Escarra got called up today, Jake. So Escarra and Ryan Yarbrough, those are the two call-ups right now. Escarra's coming back, giving him necessary depth and flexibility behind the plate in the first base, and Ryan Yarbrough's giving him some much-needed long relief in the bullpen. So that'd be good. I think they're going to shop. Oh, I kind of know they're going to shop Jason Dominguez this offseason. So they're going to shop him this offseason. Yeah, this is, exactly. Well, I don't know about serious, Jennifer, but how good they are. I'm a serious contender. Yeah, I mean, I take offense when people, and I'm not saying you, Jennifer, a lot of fans are saying the Yankees are not serious about winning, which is total baloney. They called up Ryan Yarbrough, Jake, and they called up J.C. Escarra about an hour ago. So they'll be in the dugout tomorrow. Those are two. And keep in mind, just because they're up now doesn't mean they can't be, other guys can option out. Just the roster can go up to 28 now. So they can make other moves at some point too. So my guess is, when Jake Bird might get another shot in the bullpen, which they might send somebody else out. So we'll see. So at the end of the day, I do think they're going to probably wind up bringing back Cody Bellinger. But the way I'm seeing this too is, if Bellinger somehow leaves, then they're going to be aggressive in bringing back Grisham. But I think Grisham's going to he deserves a starting job somewhere else, like a 5-year deal. They'll give him a qualifying offer. He'll move on. Yankees will get a couple draft picks. And this way, it kind of clears the path for Spencer Jones. And keep in mind, there's another prospect in the outfield. The Yankees, Dylan Lewis. Keep that name in mind. Okay? Keep that name in mind. Who's dissing Jason? He's had a decent season. I think people that hyped him to be the next Mickey Mantle are the funny ones. They're on. I understand why people like him. He's got good qualities. He's a good, solid player. I get it. I think that the hype that was bestowed upon him was unfair, created unreasonable expectations. But the fact remains that he's been outperformed by everybody in the outfield in the Yankees. So, I wouldn't say he sucks. I don't think he sucks. But the problem is he has not earned more playing time. He has not earned the right to sit any of the guys in the outfield right now. Who would you sit for him? I wouldn't sit any one of those guys. He also can't hit from the righty side. Yeah, if you keep him, he's got to stick with the lefty side, I think. So I don't think he sucks, but I don't think he's a superstar either. Solid is fine. I'm fine with solid. So he's displayed some good characteristics. And he's a good team player. He's a good head on his shoulder. Doesn't get in trouble. Learns. So I'll take it. Right. Well, exactly. It's not the same thing as he sucks. He has not earned the right to sit any of the outfielders. That doesn't mean he sucks. It just means the outfield has been really damn good. Really good. So, which is a good thing. Right? Yeah, it's an amazing, most likely walk here by Grisham. You can't sit him. You can't sit Cody Bellinger either. He's got a higher WAR than Juan Soto does. And you can't sit Judge. He's competing for an MVP. So who in the world do you sit for the guy? And it's not a knock on Dominguez. That's just the outfield is really good right now. It's easier to sit somebody in the infield than it is in the outfield. Right? So Grisham is going to have a good free agent contract. And deservedly so. He deserves it. Right? Rarely gets opportunities. Look at the amount of at-bats he has versus the amount of at-bats Trent Grisham has. Okay. Jason Dominguez has 364 at-bats this year. This year. Trent Grisham, 411. Not that many more than Dominguez. 364 at-bats is enough to show you can hit from the right-handed side. The fact of the matter is he is better on the left-handed side. That's not a knock on him. I say he is better. But again, I wish he played better. I wish he did. But if he stays, then I hope they give him an opportunity. But this is unfortunately a year that the outfield is really good, really good. That's unfortunately for him. So yeah, Soto's coming. Soto's always going to be. I always say he was good. So he was going to have a good season no matter what. Yeah. Yeah. Ryan Yarbrough got called up and JC Escarra got called up. They're 28 now. Yarbrough and Escarra. But I wanted to share an article in the meantime because there's a lot of folks just trash the Yankees, call them cheap. Why didn't they sign David Robertson? They're cheap. And a lot of narratives are being put forth on Twitter and by fair weather fans, fair weather content creators, and all this stuff. There's an article I'm going to put up here. And I don't know if you've heard about this. I heard about this. I know about this, okay? And he was talking with the guys on foul territory. There's no way that these guys don't know about this. I know about it. So David Robertson won't accept blame for playoff shares. What does that mean? Well, generally, before I go any further, let me take this off the screen for 1 second. Generally, these players, when you go to the players, you get a playoff share. Each player gets an individual playoff share. Let's just say it's 200,000 or whatever. And the further you go into the playoffs, the bigger the share gets, right? So, which can be a good amount of money to the guys that make the league minimum. But the guys that make the league minimum still make probably 30 times or 20, I'd say 15 to 20 times more than the guys that are clubhouse assistants, the guys that run errands for the players. And these are the guys that make the players' lives easier, that are with the team all year round, home and away. Okay, and I'll even attach a video down below, and I'm going to attach this article down below too that shows how involved these guys are, how much these guys do for the players. Okay, well, generally, players generally distribute that playoff share amongst and give these guys a cut of them because of how much they do for the players, right? David Robertson led essentially a movement to the team to deny them that. Okay, and I'm going to put this back on the screen here. Okay. We'll read this. His final act with the New York Yankees was to take money out of the other people's pockets before skipping town. He was one of the lovable veterans, and he was good. He was one of the lovable veterans on the Yankees this year, and fans are understandably upset the same time with the Philadelphia Phillies. Yeah, he's good. He wear the pants so high to showcase his navy blue socks and prances off the field at the Wrigley's way out on a certain jam. What's not to like? He was good with the Yankees too. Well, if you're a coach or a member of the support staff, a lot. George A. King of the New York Post reported that back in November that Robertson chaired a meeting that took away playoff shares from a number of coaches and support staff that traveled with the Yankees all season long. This guy makes $10 million a year. Why would you take that away? Okay. Playoff shares are the bonuses given to players and coaches and support staff for reaching certain milestones in the playoffs. The players can ultimately vote to take money out of the pockets of certain support staff. It's rare that it happens, but it's evidenced by the 2018 Yankees. That's exactly what happened. And who cued it? David Robertson. On his way out, David Robertson had the opportunity to make amends for his role in taking away tens of thousands of dollars from people who aren't paid millions of dollars each year. But rather than own up to that mistake, he skirted the blame. I did speak with Brian Cashman this offseason, but there were other options out there. And this is talking about the free agency this year. And the Phillies were where I wanted to end up. Robertson said on a conference call for Mike Puma of the New York Post. As far as the playoff share thing goes, I'm not really going to discuss it. That was something between the entire team and the New York Yankees. They're a great organization, and I would rather not discuss that. Okay? Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Again, I'm going to attach this down below. It's not surprising that he doesn't want to discuss it, but it's public. Everybody knows this now. He chaired it and made sure that certain coaches and support staff did not get the playoff share. Okay? So, I don't know what, I'm not you guys, but I don't really subscribe to the Hal is cheap narrative for not signing David Robertson. Maybe they didn't want to bring him back because of this reason. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, right? When you do people dirty like that, people are going to remember it. Okay? So, right? What are you saying? All those people going, this guy or that guy is not a Yankee. That move was not the Yankee. Exactly, it wasn't the Yankee way. We seen it the same way as Yankees were about. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The Yankees are loyal to each other. They're good to the people that that they take good care of them. Okay? They're good to them. And he chose to deprive them of that. He chose to stick it to them. David Robertson. Okay? It's convoluted, but it's true. It happened. Right? Oh, yeah, the popsicle, yeah. Puppies love popsicles, man. They love popsicles. Paranormal, what's going on, man? So, and again, I'm going to attach this down below. I'm also going to attach a video down below that shows how the Yankees club out attendance and what they do behind the scenes. And they're with them all year round. They travel with them. Okay, they do all this stuff, right? Especially in Yankee Stadium. They run their errands for them and their wives and all this stuff during the game or before the game while the Yankees are at the clubhouse, so they don't have to worry about this type of stuff. They make their lives easier, right? So I would have a problem. I'm actually glad they didn't sign D-Rob, because I've known about this for years, and I'm surprised that the foul territory guys didn't ask him about it. Right? I have a problem with this narrative floating around, trashing Boone, trashing Cashman, all this stuff, when you have stuff like this that people don't know about, that people don't talk about. People can say I defend them all the time. This is not defending them. Okay? This is not defending them. This is calling something out, a dirty deed. Right? So they were willing to let Jeter retired. Cashman was willing to Jeter walk because he asked for those that don't. So this is another thing. When Jeter finished his 10-year, $180 million contract, he wanted another $100 million contract. And Brian Cashman said, go find it from someone else, and then I'll match it. Otherwise, I'm more than happy to sign someone else. Jeter was like 38 at the time. Okay? So let's be clear about that, James. Let's make sure people know about that. He wanted a $100 million contract again. And Cashman was willing to let him walk because he didn't think he was going to be worth that. So Brian Cashman does play hardball. And he showed him, he told him, go find the $100 million contract and bring it back to us. He didn't. He said, put your money where your mouth is. He couldn't do it. Okay? So this is why I don't do narratives and talking points. Because they constantly get picked apart by the facts. Right? Yeah. Yes, they did make some great moves to make for Soto, and they're in a prime position to finish off the season strong and get into the postseason. So it's all that matters to me. I'm happy with it. They picked up 4 games in the standings just this past week alone. Right? Yeah, you can lose a bunch of games in the standings like they did a month ago, like the Dodgers did a couple weeks ago. They lost 9 games in the standings. The Dodgers. Right? It just happens. That's baseball. Right? But it is, yeah. I don't know if he's good enough to let the issue go. Not enough for me, Duran. We have another guy. We have guys that can do what he does in the bullpen. So to me, I value character and that type of stuff over money. But that's just me. Again, a constant narrative too, playing bad against good teams. Okay. They're not the only teams that look at the Blue Jays. They suck against bad teams too. First place Blue Jays. This is not exclusive to the Yankees, but this is the common talking point right now. Okay, and we'll see right now in the next 12 games how good they are against teams over 500 because every one of them has records over 500, right? Yeah, I was just, like he's not obligated to give it up, but it was the players do that all across the board. And he was making like $10 million a year almost already. So, why you do to me it's just doing people dirty, man. I don't like that. Good for the Jays and the Red Sox. Is the season over, Duran? Is it season over right now? That's my question to you. Does it matter what they do in June and July, or does it matter what they do in September and October? It's not over yet, right? So what are we even living at in the past? I don't care that they've gotten beat by the teams. I care what they do in the future, in these next 30 days. Nothing in the past we can't change. None of it matters right now. The season's up for grabs in the American League East, just like it is in the National League West. People thought the Dodgers were going to run away with everything, but they're not, right? This is baseball. This is the way that the game operates. Major League Baseball. And the Yankees, again, need to play well. There's no denying that. They need to play well. They need to win some series. Yeah. Yeah. It'll put them in a position to get close to matching what they did last year. They won 94 games last year. That's what they got in the World Series. They also had a healthier team last year, too. We've lost a lot of players this year. A lot of players. Exactly. There's no need. Look, there's enough pressure on the team already. There's no need to compound it even further. That's why I don't understand other channels throwing out the white flag. They spend that. I find it most funny that the folks who are most critical of the players or the manager or the coaches have no personal experience in the game, have never played the game at a competitive level. And I'm not saying Little League. I'm saying at a competitive level. And cannot do anything that these players can do, and even at the high school level. If those are the ones that are most vocal and the ones that are attacking them all the time. I find that funny. Not to say there are other people that have played baseball that are critical, sure. But I find the most people that are the most critical are the ones that have not played the game and do not play the game. They do not have the same perspective that people who play the game have. It's a different perspective. If you have experience, you can speak from a different perspective. If you don't, you can't. The fan narrative is different than the player narrative. Okay? Or I should say perspective. How I defend Boone and Cashman and Blake. You mean when I don't trash them? No accountability. Dude, you're using the same weak talking points on these other channels. Weak talking points. Perspective is a big word. Yeah, that the talking points people don't have any knowledge about, Ken. Exactly, 100%. Defending Boone. Just because I don't trash him doesn't mean I don't defend him all the time. Just because I don't trash Cashman doesn't mean I defend him all the time. And Blake, I don't trash him. I don't spend my time trashing people when they're not here to defend themselves. Yo, NFT, what's going on? Look at accountability the other day, what he did with Cody Bellinger. He made that kind of loafed on that play. Boone got in his face in the dugout. What did he do the next inning? He rebounded immediately and threw a guy out at home plate. That's accountability. What kind of accountability do you expect them to have? Do you expect them to trash the players on the screen, on TV for people to watch? They're not going to do that. Managers don't do that. That's why Joe Girardi was fired from the Yankees. Do we remember that? So Ryan Yarborough's up, JC Escarra's up. Those are the two players added today. But it could change. It could change. What claims by Clint Frazier? What claims? He's saying analytics has too much influence in the game. I've said that too. And that's above Boone's pay grade. He can't overrule analytics. There's nothing he can do. So why the hell would I trash Boone when he has no power over that? Can you answer that one, Jeffrey? And what are I saw what Clint Frazier said. Okay. He also said Aaron Boone is one of the most supportive guys to his players. He lets them be themselves, right? He connects with his players more than Girardi did, more than the other managers did. He also said that. Girardi winning the chip. No, the Yankees won the chip, not Girardi. Girardi also had the core four and the biggest free agent class ever. Has Boone ever had that? No, he hasn't. So it is pointless to compare him to Girardi. Pointless. That's another weak talking point, all due respect. And he didn't win the chip, the Yankees. They had Mariano Rivera, they had Jeter, they had Pettit, they had all those guys on the team. Boone has never had these guys, any of them. Any of them. So why would we compare him to them? And if Girardi didn't have those guys, what are the chances he would have won the World Series? Slim to none. Did he ever go win one after that? Nope. He was the beneficiary of a really special team. Yeah, exactly. No disrespect to Girardi. Good for him for winning the championship. Welcome back, Jonathan, my man. Yeah, it's pointless comparing players today with players of the past. It's pointless. It is an absolute pointless thing. Comparing managers to the manager of the past. It's a completely different situation. But that's the talking points that people like to use, right? Hal's not as like his dad, George. That's a talking point, right? That Fairweather fan channels love to peddle on a regular basis. Right? Boone's not Girardi. No kidding. Another thing that people who don't play baseball continue to talk about. Right? Analytics has more input than Boone does in most situations. Unfortunately. And we've called it out numerous times. I've said repeatedly in the last couple of weeks that in those post-game press conferences, Mike Fisher from Analytics should be up there with Aaron Boone to ask questions. Let him face the fire instead of Aaron Boone. Why did you overrule Boone for this? He should face the fires, not Boone. Boone should not have to answer questions for Analytics. But I doubt they'll do that. I doubt they'll do that. But that right there will be putting the money where your mouth is. People spend so much time on the blame game. Blame him, blame this, blame that, right? Instead of let's figure out a way to triage this. How can the team get better? No, let's for somebody to scapegoat today and blame. Boom. Volpe, Cashman. Those are the three culprits, right? Three people that blame all the time. Yes, George had the shipbuilding company. He had an entire shipping industry to finance his team. Hal doesn't have any of that. And he has partners to answer to. He's also financing a new stadium. They still haven't paid that off. And he has to deal with the Cohen threshold. George never had to deal with any of this stuff. Dropping 10 spots in a draft picks to qualifying offers. All these things George didn't have to deal with at the level that Hal does. It's a completely different ballgame now, a different business. But I know it's easy and convenient just to blame Boone, blame Cashman, blame Volpe. It's all the time. All the time. I hear it every day from Fairweather fans on Twitter, Fairweather fans on YouTube, Fairweather content creators on YouTube. Yes, Fairweather content creators posing as real fans. I'll say it again. But Clint Frazier did say analytics makes up. Yeah. Did Girardi ever have to check in with analytics? No. For his lineup? Did Torrey? No. That's different. Okay? You're taking the human element out of the game with analytics. You think Boone likes that? No. I sure as heck wouldn't. Giving up Yankee Stadium for the new stadium. Well, I don't know what logistics took place, but they wanted to build a more modern stadium. The other stadium was kind of falling apart, so I get it. And they had to do it. So, and they built more parking area. They built more other areas. So I get it. So, I mean, this is why I say, Siciliano, I don't know why they use analytics so much, but analytics should be at the post-game press conference with Boone every single day. I know people hate Boone's press conferences. I get it. I don't watch them either. It's a waste of time. Because I know he's going to be answering questions for analytics. What the hell's the point of it? To go home, go to sleep pissed off every night? No. What's the point? That adds no value to anything. None. And he faces all this stuff. And this is not me standing and defending Boone. This is calling out facts. You can say defending Boone. I'll go right ahead. I don't really give a damn. People call me Boone Hack Cash. I don't care. I love the old Yankee Stadium. I had season tickets for the old Yankee Stadium. It was louder, too. It was much louder. One of the differences now with the old Yankee Stadium versus this one, if you look at the way that it's built, the stadium goes out this way. The seating goes out this way. The old Yankee Stadium was one over the other, right? It was loud, so loud. It was ridiculous. And I hate the fact that when they got the new stadium, my season tickets went up by 1,000%. I couldn't afford them anymore. I was not going to pay $110,000 for season tickets. My wife would have killed me. He's doing what? Blackmailing Bo? How's he blackmailing Bo? Yeah, I mean, I would take fines too. Shoot. Yeah, and he gives, yeah, exactly, NF. He gives vague answers and generalized answers. He's not going to give people material to run with on social media. He's not going to do that. Neither is Cashman. There's a reason why they don't talk to certain people. They don't talk to certain content creators. There's a reason why they don't do that, right? 110,000. What is that, NFA? Is that the fine? Damn, $110,000. Yeah, analytics department is what needs to be held accountable. Because they're the one cock blocking Boone. More often than not. Yeah, exactly. Boone's not going to throw it. No manager in baseball is going to throw his players under the bus right now. None. It's not only Boone. Right? Oh, yes. It was $110,000. So we paid, I used to have him with my mom. We paid about 11 grand in a fee. Sorry, I missed you there. I didn't register me. We paid 11 before, and that included postseason. When they got the new stadium, it was $110,000. You did not hear wrong, brother. 110 G's for this in the same area. I was like, dude, I almost fainted when they sent the bill. I was like, you can't, what the, like, no. Like, at least they don't have PSLs like in the NFL, which is a personal seat license, which is the right. You pay for a personal seat license for the right to buy season tickets. It's like a double layer of payment in the NFL. Why is he able to depending vote? Because he's a starting shortstop. And he defends all of his players. Boom. Can't tell. I don't know if you realize that. But Volpe's the one that gets the most heat from everybody. Right? But he's, with the exception of the errors, he's going to probably put forward 20 home runs and almost 90 ribbies too. So he's not really a scrub like people think. The errors make him, the errors make the offensive output not sexy, and so does the low batting average, obviously. But with that said, none of these $300 million shortstops are worth $300 million. Not one of them. Yeah, 110 G's, NFA. Let that just sit. My mother and I just look at each other like, what? You serious, man? Oh, my heavens. Smaller season tickets is the way to go, right? Smaller bundles, yeah. Yeah. Well, Knobloch threw the ball into the stands from second base. At least Volpe bounced it to first baseman. So he's not cloning Knobloch just yet. Knobloch, like, you'd have serious agita with Knobloch. From second base, how do you throw it 15 feet over the first baseman's head from second base? Like, oh my God. But I wouldn't hesitate to sit Volpe to play Caballero a little bit more often. I'm fine with that. And at this point, too, and I say this a lot, I've been saying this for years. I like players, but I like the team better. So whatever you need to do to make the team win, to help the team win, you got to do it. If you need to sit somebody, you sit them, right? That's Judge, Stanton. If you need to sit them in a call, sit them. Play somebody else. Give them a rest. Give them a breather. Same thing applies to Volpe. We have guys here now that can replace him, like Caballero. His energy is infectious. They win a lot when he plays. So when he starts, I think they've won every game that he started. So I like Rosario. I hope they're both in the game tomorrow because we're going to face Framber Valdez, who's a lefty, and we need that energy against this Astros team, especially the Astros teams that now has what's his name back, Yordan Alvarez. He's back now from an injury. But yeah, Knobloch was like a heart attack in the uniform, Duran. It was just like, dude, you're making my blood pressure go through the roof, bro. Chuck. Yeah, Volpe has to earn. Yes, he does. No denying that. But he continues to hit now too. So, which is why they're probably going to give him a little bit more leeway. But I would not hesitate to sit him to play Caballero. Yeah. Rosario and Caballero are fantastic pickups. I hope Rosario comes back next year. He's a free agent. Yes, I have, Ray. I've been saying it since they got him. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ray. At least you noticed that. So appreciate you, man. Let the pickups contribute, man. Let the pickups contribute. No, I don't think you'd be wrong. I'm thinking the same thing, NFE. Anybody here that's not subscribed to the Strike Zone, by the way, make sure you subscribe to the Strike Zone. I gotta support my man here. Just hit 2,000 subs, man. We're gonna help him work his way to 3K now. I think 6 and 6 or 7 and 5 is probably the most realistic, but I think we're leaning conservatively here too. So now he's not being called up. If he's a September call up next year, maybe. But I'm guessing 2027 is when he's going to start. So Volpe's not ready for the majors. There's no way. Well, I don't know why people want Bo Bichette. His glove is just as bad, Iron Hawaiian. People want, let's get Bichette here instead of Volpe. He's worse with the glove. Bichette. He has less range. He's a little bit more of a disciplined hitter, sure. Give him that, but he's not an upgrade with the glove. Yeah, and if he's got two, I'm gonna put this up on the screen so people know. And if he's doing two gift card giveaways to fans, so he's going live later. So, want to get in the running? Check my man NFE out. Check him out. Let's give him some love, man. Let's support. He might be a September 26th. If he's got to play well enough to justify it. If he plays well enough, sure, I have no problem with that. No. Volpe's got 3 years of arbitration left, and his bat is better right now than Caballeros' bat. So yeah, again, he's going to be one of these guys to put up 20 home runs and like 80 plus RBIs. He's got 19 now, and I think he's in the 70s already with the RBIs. Can't ignore that. That can't be ignored. And he also has a Gold Glove to his resume too. Can't take that away from him. So my guess is they're going with the young kid for now. But again, like I said, I wouldn't hesitate to sit him right now on occasion for Jose and let Caballero play more. Let him reset his head. Let him learn. Let him watch. Caballero. Well, Ray, that's how we do it here, brother. We keep it straight, man. I don't do talking points. I don't do narratives. I'm not just depriving the viewer, the fan, of the story. No way. It's not fair. I'm not cheapening. I'm not dumbing down the audience either. Like some of these AI channels, like some of these fair weather propaganda channels. I'm not doing it, man. So I appreciate the kind word. I appreciate that, man. The fans deserve the facts. Well, it's just true, too. Caballero and Rosario have not been starters. Right now, they're bench depth. That's the other. That's another reason why they're not just moving on from Volpe. He's done the job. He's in his third year doing it. So his glove's not good this year. No denying that. Trade deadline 16 prospects. Yeah, we gave away a lot of catchers. They will. So, like, I think Spencer Jones has to be put on the 40 to be protected from Rule 5. It could end up like 2000. The Yankees, people didn't think the Yankees were going to make the playoffs in 2000. They floundered, and then they all of a sudden picked it up in the postseason and won the World Series that year, and they beat the Mets. But you could be right, Daron. Yeah, and they're going to have. I know Jones is one of them. There's a couple other guys that have to be put on the 40 to be protected from Rule 5. I have to go back and look, and I'm going to Chase Hampton. That's right, Daron. Thank you. I'm going to go over I'm going to do a video based on the list. So Cam's already. If you're on the 26, you're on the 40, so you're good. And Cam's not going anywhere. Even if he gets optioned out, he'll still be on 40. So Cam he's earned it. He's good. Yeah. Well, Volpe doesn't have the knack for slacking and mentally drifting like Gleyber did. Gleyber is much more talented than Volpe. He has a much more talented bat. His ceiling is higher. We know that. But what frustrated us about, well, at least me about Gleyber even more is because he drifted off. He didn't focus in games. He slacked, didn't run. Volpe runs hard every time. He runs hard to the ball every time when he's in the field. Gets the ball. If he has and most of his errors are throwing errors. He doesn't slack like Gleyber did with the Yankees. There's a difference between the two. And that has to be acknowledged and pointed out too, at least by me, Hawaiian. So I'm not moving on from Volpe for lack of effort. And there's a big reason they didn't bring back Gleyber Torres because of lack of effort. And now he's in the Tigers. He's playing well, but he's not. He's in a low key environment and not in a pressure cooker either. So different. And we'll see. We will see if Gleyber Torres gets re-signed by the Tigers. Where is he not dependable, Hawaiian? Postseason, he was clutch in the postseason. One of our more clutch bats in the postseason. When it counts, he's dependable when it counts, right? Where else do you need to see it, Hawaiian? It's just good to hear. It's good to know, right? Get that big grand slam in the World Series off of, was it Jack Flaherty, I think, in the Dodgers? Big grand slam. The current rotation is they're holding it down. And adding Yarbrough today that's a big add. Base running. What's wrong with his base running? What's wrong with his base running? Yeah, Cole will be back in May or June next year. He's already throwing, which is a good thing. What's wrong with Volpe's base running? He's got 16 steals this year, too. 19 homers, 70 ribbies. Let me see something. $325 million shortstop, Trey Turner from the Phillies, 14 home runs, 64 ribbies. Batting average is higher, but there are areas where Volpe's better, and there's areas where he's better. Yeah, Gil's coming back slowly but surely. Jays are losing 2-0 in the top of the seventh. Good. Let the Jays lose, man. Let the Yankees pick up a half a game. Yes, sir. Coach Carl, what's happened? The Yankees added Ryan Yarbrough, and they added J.C. Escara. The biggest issue is when he hits a home run. Interesting. Okay. 16 steals is not no stolen bases. Hawaiian, 16 steals. Let me see something. He's been caught 6 times this year, but he has 16 steals. Six times. 19 in his career, Anthony Volpe. Yeah, exactly, Duran. I have a feeling Duran. I mean, then Yarbrough's going to be long relief. And don't be surprised if Will Warren goes into long relief. That way, have a righty and a lefty in long relief. So then having to use the bullpen too much, right? So, what's up, Chris? I'm going to wrap this up in a second, too. I just wanted to give you guys the update on who got called up. And check out, I'm going to attach the article about David Robertson down below so you can read it. Because it counters a lot of stuff that's being talked about. A lot of the Yankees cheap stuff. And I think it's interesting. Maybe Yarbrough leaves. Maybe the Yankees bring him back. I don't know if he's going to get started. I mean, he's missing a lot of time, so that's going to cost him contract money, but he'll get some money. Jazz, Coach Carl, I'm the same way with Jazz and Volpe. I think both of them would spend more time hitting the ball into the gaps and utilize their speed more often. If they get into a home run, they get into a home run. He's probably going to get 30 home runs, Jazz. So he's got 26 or 27 now already. So I think Warren's ceiling is probably like a Clark Schmidt, like a number 3, and his floor is probably a long reliever. Cam, his ceiling is up, I think, like Garrett Cole level, and his floor is probably a number 3. So I think Cam is probably going to be put in the rotation for the postseason, and Warren's likely in the bullpen. But we'll see how many starters if they go for a 4-man rotation or 3 or whatnot. We'll see what they do. It doesn't matter, Hawaiian. It doesn't matter. The ratio. The ratio doesn't matter. You're cherry picking stuff that is not really important. Why are we spending so much time on cherry picking on Volpe? When he's trying to hit them. Well, yeah, I mean, he does sometimes. And this is where I say, like, it would be good for him to hit the ball in the gap more often and utilize his speed. Get more doubles and less home runs. I would love it if he got 20 home runs and 20 doubles. Volpe. I think that would be really good. How many doubles does he have this year? Let's see. Let's have a look at Volpe's stats here. If you could do 20 home runs and 20 doubles, then that's a nice balanced portfolio. And the Yankees are also one of the top teams in baseball in walks offensively, which is kind of crazy to me. So he's got 28 doubles this year, Anthony Volpe. 28 doubles. So he's also hitting the ball a lot into gloves, making a lot of outs with his bat. So 210 batting average, not 204. And you are cherry picking. And his caught stealing has nothing to do with his batting average. That's cherry picking, Hawaiian. Pixie, he's trying to, but he's finding a lot of gloves. So it's unfortunate. 28 doubles. A lot of doubles, man. A lot of doubles. Ooh, girls are home. Let me wrap this up, gang. Appreciate you all coming on. I'm going to attach the video down below for you. The article down below. So go have a great day. Big difference. Caught stealing has nothing to do with his batting average. Nothing to do with his batting average. Nothing. Okay? Has nothing to do with it. But yeah. If anything else comes out to the gang, you'll get it. Happy Labor Day. Enjoy some barbecue. Talk to you next time.